fight,
Hi, mental
flight,
health warriors.
freeze.
So I'm sitting here nerding out, doing some research, looking over some tools that I was thinking about sending to my clients to help them out from last week's sessions. And I came across something and I saw a similarity between the two. And a light bulb went off in my head. So you've heard of fight, flight, freeze, or please, right? With anxiety and with codependency and even trauma responses, we tend to experience these things, right? You come out swinging, or you run and hide, or you freeze and you hide within yourself and detach, or you start people pleasing in overdrive. This matches up with Brené Brown's shame shields. So if we talk about the shame shields, there's 3 shame shields, okay? So we have moving away, moving toward, and moving against. Moving away is withdrawing, hiding, silencing yourself, and keeping secrets. So that would match up with flight. Moving toward is seeking to appease and please. So that could be when you freeze and then you start to move and act again. You freeze and then you do everything you can to appease the other person. And then moving against is trying to gain power over others, being aggressive and using shame to fight shame. And that's, of course, correlated with fight in the fight, flight, freeze, right? And the shame shields help us to recognize how intense our shame is, what kind of shame we cling to. And if you've been through trauma, I'm sure you're experiencing a lot of shame. Number one, because people say, why did you stay in that relationship? Or why didn't you report what happened to you? Or, there are so many things. They do the victim blaming thing. And you might blame yourself and have a hard time forgiving yourself. And in relationships with toxic people, we often do blame ourselves because they gaslight us. They refuse to take accountability. If you present an issue to them and say, hey, can we work on this? You really hurt me by doing that. Or, hearing you say that about me was crushing. And they're going to say, oh, God, I was joking, or you're overly sensitive, get over yourself. So we end up apologizing for ever bringing it up because now we've upset them, right? So we start to develop this sense of shame. And remember, guilt is I've done something bad, and shame is I am bad or I am worthless. So in a toxic relationship, of course, this happens, and this information's out there all over the place, but what do you do about it? So in Brené Brown's research, she has researched shame for years. And she has a saying that where compassion lives, shame cannot reside. So the antidote to the shame is compassion. And we can exercise self-compassion through good self-care habits. And rather than approaching your toxic person and trying to work things out, let it go. It doesn't mean that you're compliant with it. It just means that you know what you're going to be facing. They're going to blame you. They're going to shame you. They're going to make you feel stupid for bringing it up. So you have to not personalize it. Let it go. And tell yourself that you deserve better, that you are better, and that they're just showing you who they are. So focus on your self-care. Be very compassionate to yourself. And I'll do a few videos on self-care and the subcategories and break it down some more, as well as self-compassion. It is more than bubble baths and champagne or bubble baths and hot tea. It's boundaries. It's treating yourself very well, respecting yourself. And you're absolutely worth it and you deserve it. So hearing this video and thinking about fight, flight, freeze, and the shame shields, how much shame do you feel like you have as a result of a toxic relationship? And what are some ways you can increase your self-care and be compassionate to you? Let me know in the comments.